Morning. It's Monday, February 15th. And today I'm going to play a little bit of Mitch McConnell's speech on the floor of the Senate when he declared that he was acquitting Donald Trump. And he gave the reasons why he was acquitting Donald Trump of the deeds that occurred on January 6th. So while I consider Mitch McConnell the most evil man in government, I have to admit that he is one of the cleverest politicians out there, and that for all these years that he has been in power, he has easily outmaneuvered the Democrats. So his speech on the floor is a very interesting one. And while he admitted that Donald was guilty, he still acquitted him. But he made some other statements later on in the speech that we need to discuss. So I'll play this speech for you now, and we can consider the conclusions that Mitch McConnell came up with. Hang in there.
January 6th was a disgrace. American citizens attacked their own government. They used terrorism to try to stop a specific piece of domestic business they did not like. Fellow Americans beat and bloodied our own police. They stormed the Senate floor. They tried to hunt down the Speaker of the House. They built a gallows and chanted about murdering the Vice President. They did this because they'd been fed wild falsehoods by the most powerful man on earth. Because he was angry he'd lost an election. Former President Trump's actions preceded the riot were a disgraceful duty. The House accused the former president of, quote, incitement. There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. No question about it. The people who stormed this building believed they were acting on the wishes and instructions of their president. Donald Trump was the president when the House voted, though not when the House chose to deliver the papers. I believe the best constitutional reading shows that Article 2, Section 4 exhausts the set of persons who can legitimately be impeached, tried, or convicted. We have no power to convict and disqualify a former office holder who is now a private citizen. Donald Trump's no longer the president. That mandatory sentence cannot be applied to someone who's left office. Impeachment was never meant to be the final forum for American justice. It is not the criminal justice system. Indeed, while former officials were not eligible for impeachment or conviction, they were still liable to be tried and punished in the ordinary tribunals of justice. Put another way, in the language of today, President Trump is still liable for everything he did while he was in office.
So I'm sure most of you were paying attention, and you heard the last part of Mitch's speech to Congress or the Senate, where he declares Donald Trump guilty, and he declares that as a private citizen, he can be investigated, tried, and convicted. Now, why would he make a point of saying that? after he had just acquitted. I believe he said that because he wants Donald out of politics. He doesn't want him to be the leader of the Republican Party anymore. He wants him probably to face the consequences of his actions. But being a loyal Republican, he couldn't do that while the man was still in the hearts of many a good guy. Not a good guy, but a leader, their leader. So he chose this way, one of his devious ways, to put pressure on Donald, to put pressure on society and the authorities to investigate Donald's private actions. He didn't categorically say go after the man's taxes return. Go after the man's business dealings. He just said as a private citizen he was now vulnerable to investigations. He didn't have the presidential shield to hide behind. I also believe he did this to damage some of the people who became very loyal to Donald in the end. People like Ted Cruz, and Josh Hawley, and Mario Rubio, and maybe even Lindsey Graham. I think he put all of them on notice that he is the real leader of this party now, and he's not going to take shit from anybody. So I don't think that Mitch did this because he's a fine, upstanding citizen and he's doing this for the people of the United States. That would be the furthest from the truth. That would be the furthest thing from my mind with respect to Mitch McConnell. As I said, I believe he was the most evil man in government, but probably the shrewdest man in government. And you saw that at the beginning of this new administration. Because of the 50-50 split in the Senate, Mitch McConnell hung on to the chairmanships of all those committees and delayed turning them over to Biden's appointees. And I'm not even sure right now that all of Biden's appointees have been vetted and are doing their jobs. So today is February 15th, and Merrick Garland was put forth as Biden's pick for Attorney General probably around February 1st or something. But his hearing still hasn't taken place. It's scheduled for February 22nd, and it probably will be very interesting because he was the gentleman who was denied a Supreme Court justice job because Antonin Scalia died 8 months before the 2016 presidential election. And as you well know, Mitch wouldn't bring Garland's nomination to a vote. Because you don't do that right before the election. Like 8 months is right before the election. However, with Comey Barrett, 30 days and it was done. So you can see the power that this man has wielded in the past and how he intends to continue wielding that power. So I leave you with these thoughts because to me, it's going to be a very interesting next 4 years. So thanks for listening and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.